So hello there, Crap to Cream. This is, I'm going to call it part 2 of the test drive. So when I got back and I reviewed the video myself, and I was watching the boost gauge on the dashboard and the gauge on the phone, which was telling me the pressure that the distributor was seeing, they weren't the same. Because the boost pressure on the phone, on the app, never got into positive. And I just was bugging me, and I was thinking about how that happened. And I remembered then that at some point I was receiving bits of information from all over the place, and I decided to move the connection to the distributor from the boost line to the vacuum line, which was feeding the servo. So, and that would explain why the gauge on the phone was reading different than the gauge on the dashboard. So what I've done now is I've now swapped the gauge. Well, the pressure tapping now has been changed from the servo back to the boost gauge, which sees pressure. So the distributor now will see the same pressure that the boost line is seeing. So the two gauges on the dashboard should read the same, and I should then see a positive pressure, because obviously boost is positive. All right, so this is just showing you what has changed. I'm going to get my torch. So here, there's two lines. All right, there's this line here. That's the one to the servo. And that always sees negative because of the connection that has to the manifold. So that comes round here, and that's that one there in the middle there, the light shining on. The one below it, the smaller tube, that is the boost connection, the boost gauge connection, which shows you the actual manifold pressure. So I've now moved the distributor line, which is this one here. I've now moved it from this line to this line. You can see that there when the torch decides to stay where it's put. So you can see that there, hopefully. So yeah, so now I will go out for another set of test run on the same 3 maps and then see what the difference is, if there is any at all, which I suspect there will be, because now I'm going to get a positive pressure. All right, so I'll go out to the same place where I did the test drive before, and I'll do the head cam thing, so the filming might not be as good as whatever you're used to, but we'll go from there. All right, and wind noise, I apologize, but that's just what you get with having a car with no roof on. All right, so I'll speak soon. So here we are on the test track. Shouldn't call it that really, but anyway, so I've got the phone connected, which you might be able to see. I'm reading, which I don't know why I've done that. Anyway, up to temperature, everything's reading as it should do on the gauges. Boost gauge is here. So I'm now going to go through the same as I did before, but in reverse. So this will be number 3 test pattern that I'm going to check now, and then we'll go from there. Okay, just wait for this car to go past and then we'll give it a go. Okay, let's see. So it's not as good. It's not as good as it was before when I had it connected to the vacuum. Definitely more doesn't want to go, what I would describe as doughy, and this is the one that was the best when it was under vacuum. So I'll get up to the top up here and then I'll change it over. I'll go back and we'll have another go at a different setting. So yeah, right now, wow, roadworks. get down to the bottom and do another set of, I'll reset it. But that was definitely not the best run like it was on the last one, so I'll see how I go when I go down the bottom. I'll turn you off now until I turn it back on again and I've reset the map. Awesome piece of kit this. You can just stop at the side of the road, turn the ignition off, turn it back on again and reset the map. Right, so I've done the map, I've reset it now. We'll see how it goes now. So with that is much better. So I'm working my way backwards now through the, so this is much better. Still, it wants to go, right? So it's a lot more responsive when I put my foot into it than it was on the first setting. And I seem to have got to where I've got to very quickly, right? So I'm not sure that's any indication of what's going on, but so that's all right. So I'll get down to the bottom, I'll change the map again, and then I'll reintroduce you back again. So reset now to map number 1, which was done last time, which is the one that came from a man who knows what he knows, a very smart man. And that's, yeah, so the maps and the responses and everything else is a complete reverse to what it was when I tried it the first time. So map number 1 from the man who knows, Stuart, you know who you are, is a lot better than the other 2. One of which was one that I tried to create myself. So yeah, revert to knowledge, right? And that is what I've done. And yeah, that was remarkably quick, actually. That is a lot better. Yes, I'm very impressed with that. So it's gone, yeah, complete reverse now. So with the connection to the distributor now in the boost line, the timing characteristics have changed completely, which is what you would expect, I suppose. They're not working in vacuum anymore all the time. They've got a certain amount of pressure involved. So yeah, you can see whatever you can see. Hopefully you can see something down there. I'm on the overrun, right? So, but it's running about 14-ish, 13 to 14. And you would have been hopefully able to see the numbers when I was putting my foot into it and seeing what happens. But anyway, that's, yeah, complete inverse to what it was when I took it out the first time. So yeah, lesson learned for me. So here we are back in the shed, as mentioned earlier. So this is one awesome piece of kit, this, and I am yeah, very impressed with this. It's off now, obviously, because the car's off, but the whole thing, right, it's awesome. Being able to put your maps in, redesign your maps, and play around with your settings. So I didn't do any tuning while I was actually on the run. I just went with the maps that I previously put into the system. So yeah, everything now is where it should be. I still haven't got the charge cooler installed, and I honestly don't know whether I'll put it in. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, as I said earlier, the settings now were 1, 2, 3 before, and they progressively got better. And now I've moved the lines around, as I showed earlier on in the video, and now it's gone the other way, right? So what was number 1 is now number 3, and 2 is still 2. But anyway, so it worked a lot better. And that's with zero on the map based on pressure. So I'm not going like -3 degrees or -8 degrees, depending on the pressure output from the supercharger. So yeah, anyway, I won't waffle on anymore. This is part 2. Part 1 you'll see, and then yeah, when you have a drink and a think, right, I realized that I changed the lines from the boost to the vacuum line, and now I've changed them back, and it's had a completely different result in regard to the running of the engine. All right, thank you for subscribing, thank you for comments, and yeah, thank you for the constructive comments that I've had. And if you want to know anything else, just please ask. Bye for now.